Okay, let's call our meeting to start at 6:01. Let's go ahead and approve the minutes for January. Do we have a motion to approve? Sorry.
So I
Sorry.
found something in there real quick before you
Okay.
guys get too far. I misspoke at that last meeting when I was doing my staff report. The reconstruction of the footbridge, it says at Keizer Rapids Park, that was actually at Wallace House Park.
Whoops, nice catch.
I just need to make sure that gets fixed.
Motion to approve is amended.
I second it.
Awesome, motion, second. All in favor? Do we have to do that for minutes?
You can ask for discussion.
Oh, discussion, that's a great, anything else? No? Okay, moving right along. Sorry?
After you have discussion, you need to call for the
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no? Everyone says aye. Moving along? Yes? Okay. Appearances of interested citizens. Carolyn, come on down. Yes. Should I wait?
Oh, thank you. I'm Carolyn Holman. I'm here tonight representing West Keizer Neighborhood Board, representing the board in Carol Dorfler's absence and also Rhonda Rich. We want to thank the Parks Board again for supporting retention of Palmacia Park in the Parks Master Plan. As a neighborhood, we just feel this small site is an important one, as one of 4 public spots in West Keizer where people can view the river, and especially given the importance that the citizens gave to access to the river in all of the surveys that were done in advance of the master plan. And I think with a little maintenance, it can be a pleasant place to enjoy nature, and from my point of view, particularly a good place to view some of the many bird species that we have in our area. The board was very glad the consultant's initial recommendation that the city divest itself of this park was rejected, both by you and by city council. So we're eager to move forward and work together to make this park more usable for neighbors, and as Mount Lawyers said, to do the best we can for this little park. Gary Blake's here tonight. He lives on Cummings, just a few doors away from this park. He's talked with a neighbor who has a lot of equipment about cleaning up some of the limbs and debris and the leaves that have accumulated and kind of cluttering up some of the space. And we're going to work with them to make this a neighborhood cleanup effort as plans come together. And with regular mowing and a little bit of maintenance, maybe the addition of a viewing bench or trash can, we believe this park can be a pleasant place to stop on a walk through the neighborhood. And again, we really appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carolyn. Gary Blake, are you wanting to come up and speak with us tonight? You have listed yourself down as someone who wanted some time. Was that you just signing in? You can use the time, or you can have either or.
I'll pass on that.
Okay, well, thank you for being here, Gary.
Okay.
Carol Phillips. Phyllis, sorry.
No, Phipps.
Phipps,
It's
sorry,
a
come on up.
common error, so don't worry about it. I'm here tonight to bring up an issue that has been brought up before, and in the scheme of things, I realize it's not a huge issue, but I just wanted to make you aware of it. Down at Wallace Park, with the pathway that goes behind the park, so you know how it goes along the river there. It's eroded away on the one side quite a bit, so there's quite a bit of a drop off. And I understand that we've had this problem before with the drop offs on the side, And I'm just here to testify that I don't know if it's possible to backfill with the dirt there this spring, or bark chips or something, so it's not quite a drop off. I understand there's erosion right there, and it's kind of especially bad where the sewer drain goes down and under that's where it seems to be the worst. I had a suggestion, and one of my suggestions was, because the nature of the asphalt, it's not a 45-degree drop-off, it's kind of a rolling drop-off. And what happens is, visually, I think people think that it's wider than it is maybe, and they step on the part that's sort of rolled and roll off of it. And I say that because that happened to my husband, and it happened so quickly, and he was looking, walking, boom, he was down and straight in his, just like in his face. He's fine, but it could have been really bad. So, and my thought is that if this were a person in a wheelchair or a scooter or something like that, and their wheel could catch it, they'd be over in just a matter of seconds. But my thought is can a white or a bright line be painted along the edge of it so that you visually have that kind of visual that it's not here is the edge, but here is the edge? Does that make sense? So just a thought. Anyway, that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Can we have Matt, or do you want to speak to a little bit more to that potentially?
I do know our crews spent some time in the park trying to solve that problem and bringing in some soil or wood chips, whatever we use. There was some material. And then also, I believe there was some type of a construction project that took place last summer near that manhole that you're discussing. So I'm wondering if, due to that activity, if that area hasn't gotten worse. So we will take a look at it and definitely try to figure out what's going on there. And if we need to bring some material in, we will do that. I'm not sure about the lines. I've had that discussion with folks higher up, and it's kind of, I understand what you're saying. Totally understand we're trying to solve a problem here. I think we're trying to resolve it in other fashions, but if that's what we need to do, then we can definitely look into that as well.
Okay. Okay, diving into parks reports. Mike.
So I did make it by the parks this afternoon after work. Sunset, I went by and it looked really pretty good. It looked like some fresh dirt, is maybe a gopher or something. And there, huh?
At sunset?
Yeah, I'm guessing. They were little piles. I didn't think somebody went through there just
Yeah.
turning single piles of dirt over. So
Sounds like a gopher to me.
possibly a gopher. And then there were a few piles of, it looked like debris, branches and stuff that had been piled up. I'm guessing you guys will go through and remove that. Other than that, it's always beautiful. Going in the afternoon is always fantastic. So, and actually then I also have Palma Sia, which is kind of a blessing. It's looking good, a real good view of the river from up along the levee, and it's just a fantastic view. And I'm glad we held on to that part too, because it's really nice. And the trail actually looked pretty dry, so give it a little bit more time and I might try and get my big old body down there and, I wonder about the climb back up. But if I have a couple of grandkids to haul me, maybe so. And then also I went by, I'm into rock hounding, so the grandkids and I went to Keizer Rapids on Saturday, and we went along the paved trail and then off the trail and towards the river right to where the boundary is. And it was pretty nice, really enjoyable. Looked like there's some branches down that have been taken care of, so they're off the edge of the trail, and that's really good. People are using it, and it's just real nice, real enjoyable. I didn't really see anything out of place. The restroom, there's the outhouse that's out there along the trail, and it says it's not emptied every day, but when I looked in it, it's absolutely clean. So,
Awesome, thanks, Mike. I have a question. Would we bring this up in other business to follow up with Paul Macia's, like the plan or like timeline of when some of those items would be worked on that Carolyn was mentioning?
I don't have a timeline
Nope.
put together yet.
Okay.
We're still kind of wrapping things up with the
Right.
whole master plan process, and then we'll have some time to sit down and actually start to just figure out what we want to start plucking away at. Some of the smaller items should be no problem to get going, I would say, this next budget cycle. A lot of the larger items we're going to need to fit into our parks plan. We have a current 3 to 5 year plan we've been building out, and so, you know, now that we have an updated master plan, we're taking a fresh look at that versus our current 3 to 5 year plan and seeing how the two mesh. And then we'll continue creating out, you know, about 5 years out. So, not quite ready for that conversation just yet,
Okay.
but we'll get there very soon.
Awesome. Clay, Bear, and
Luckily, the
White-
pickleball courts are a small project, so.
Very small.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bear Park, I live right next to it, so there regularly. Last time I was there Friday, everything looks fine, always in good shape. Whittam, everything looks good minus the Target shopping cart, but I don't know that that's our problem. That's more of a,
Yeah,
is that ours?
yeah.
Okay. It's on the roadway,
It's on the road.
kind of a roadway between the, right there at the edge
All right.
of the park and the road. So I didn't know if I should, somebody obviously, it got away from them, so. Other than that, everything looks really good.
Matthew's not here, so I'm going to wait till the end just in case he jumps in later. Matt?
Yeah, so, it's been a busy week. Legislative session started, I don't even know when. But that's been my life. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to get down to Wallace House, but I did talk to Jeff Anderson, who's took a group of people from the neighborhood and went down and cleaned up a whole bunch of debris down at Wallace House. I think part of what happens every year when the waters come up, there's a lot of debris that lands in that lower area. And so he took some kids from the neighborhood, went down there, and they did a bunch of cleanup, and that was really great. I did kind of poke over by Chalmers Jones on the way in this evening. Still some people out there on the skate park using their vehicles to light up the skate park. You know, you can't blame them for creativity. But I want to talk a little bit more about Chalmers Jones on other business this evening. But I'll have a better report next month on Wallace House. I just haven't had a chance to get down there this last week or so.
Okay. And then we all can report out on Keizer Rapids. Mike already did his report out. Any other items? Yes, Lisa.
Well, I have a question. I know that the disc golf club was doing the replacement of all the baskets and the moving things. And there are all those giant concrete bases where the baskets were set when they removed them. And they're just all sitting all over. Some of them are in the past, some of them have been kicked down things. And then I don't know if that's something that we were supposed to take care of, or if they are supposed to finish up and haul those out.
Yeah, so they're still actively working down there as volunteers. They just recently received all new locks for the baskets that they installed, so they were actually borrowing some from us. I know they were planning on getting down there and getting those put in, and then they were gonna do kind of a final cleanup, so I will be following up with them to make sure that happens.
Yeah. I mean, because all winter, the big just,
Yeah, it took a little longer than I think they were planning, but
okay. I just had that question. And then I know that a lot of the people who boat have been complaining lately because there's like 3 feet of the dock that's touching water at this point because the river's so low.
Oh, man.
yeah.
Come on.
So
Where are you?
Yeah.
I'm not putting those docks back in,
No, and I don't think you should. It was just,
It's still winter time.
Yep.
yeah.
We had pretty high water there 2 weeks ago, and then this week, we've just kind of gone into this dry spell again until the river dropped down to 7 feet. And there's not much docks, probably if any, in the water at 7 feet.
Yeah, no, there's
the
like
winter.
3 feet of the last piece of dock touching the water, nothing is floating.
Right. So, but unfortunately, we have to leave the 4 seasonal floats out until at least late April, knowing that we're gonna get some snow melt.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you saw a couple years ago what happened with City of Salem and Wallace Marine Park. Their docks were left in too long and a log hit them and flipped 4 of them on their side and bent them and ruined them.
Yeah.
And so, we just can't afford to have that happen to us, so.
Nope.
Unfortunately, we just kind of
Right,
wait.
yeah,
Late April,
no.
tell
Late
us.
April, okay. Now at least I have an answer.
Anything else to report out for Keizer Rapids? Okay, well, Matthew's not here. Anybody go by Clear Lake or Keizer Little League? Any updates?
I was just by Keizer Little League. This evening, and it was nothing out of place that I could see.
No? Okay, well, we'll go ahead and just move right along then. Robert, staff report?
Yeah. So I just want to update the board on our remaining balance in our matching grant program for this year. We have $12,500 still remaining there that I would encourage anybody who knows of a park project to come forward and hopefully present a project to the board, or multiple projects, if you will. I mean, that's quite a bit of money sitting there. I do know the Keizer Arts Commission plans on submitting an application for the mosaic artwork piece at the splash fountain, probably to you guys next meeting. But other than that, maybe have your ears open and talk to people and see if there's anything you guys know of. I know Matt had mentioned a potential plan that might come forth, so just a little reminder, that money has to be spent by June 30th, so the project would need to be accepted by the board, put in place, completed by June 30th. So quite a bit of money still sitting there.
Okay.
We planted a bunch of trees recently. I told you guys we were going to be doing that. We were able to get over 30 trees in the ground so far.
Nice.
We just went and picked up 27 more trees last Friday.
Wow.
And then I ordered 10 new street trees for Country Glen Park today. So those will be replaced soon.
Nice.
I'm going to do a alternated planting there. Every other tree will be different. They're both going to be maples, but they're going to have different fall colors. So it'll look really neat, kind of give it a little
Cool.
pattern. And then if for some reason we experience an issue with one type of tree, we won't lose them all at once, hopefully. So we also did a soil sample there, talked to a consultant about what kind of went wrong with those trees last time and why they fell apart. And there's multiple reasons of why that possibly happened, but we're just trying our hardest not to let that happen again. It can be challenging to find trees in an irrigated area that don't get overwatered. And a lot of times that's a problem, where actual street trees usually water in the first 2 years and then there's no sprinkler systems hitting them. So let's see here. We had more vandalism down at the Keizer Rapids bathrooms last week. There was graffiti. They tried to catch a bunch of things on fire. All of our toilet paper rolls were lit on fire. There was a big, huge landscape boulder they threw inside. It was an absolute mess. Still just people going around. The skate park got tagged. Bob Newton Park got tagged all in the same week. Don't know if it's related or not, but just unfortunate. A lot of our time is being spent going around fixing and repairing things still.
Is
Yeah,
that in the
that's all
middle
I
of the
have.
day?
What's
I mean, is the vandalism at the bathrooms happening in the middle of the day?
No,
Okay.
we believe, so what happened was, we were closing the bathrooms at 4:45 through winter. And we went down there and there was there's a lot of people using the park at 5:15, so we went ahead and bumped it forward to 5:45, and 2 days later, they got hit. So they're coming in there like right at dusk, right before they lock.
Okay.
So we had to reverse the clock a little bit again, but yeah, they are self-locking bathrooms.
Okay.
But trying to find that magical time that works is a little challenging. I mean, you want to keep it open for people that are using the park.
Right.
That's our number one priority, but sometimes those things backfire.
It's certainly been getting a lot of views.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been down there with my grandkids, and it's packed in the evenings when it's nice out.
Yeah, I got a report last weekend. There was basically nowhere to park in the entire park. Disc golf, marine facility,
Right.
dog park, big toy. People were parked all over the grass. There's a lot of parking stalls in that park, and they're
Right.
all
Right.
full plus some. So it's cool to see. I love that we have a park that is that desirable to people. It just comes with a lot of upkeep. So, any other questions for me?
I saw, oh, sorry, go ahead, Gwen.
I was over at Claggett Creek, a couple times now to see if the same problem existed. But not this last Sunday, but the Sunday before, I went over there and there was a lot of beer cans. There was 12 packs of beer cans. Some of the beer cans were full. There was bottles all over. I took pictures. There was prophylactics used. I took, my family goes, "You took a picture of this?" And I said, "Yes." "You put it in the trash?" I said, "I had gloves on."
Yeah.
I learned, now I'm taking gloves and I'm picking it up. It was like right by the playground area. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if that kind of thing is going hand in hand. Maybe a bunch of people are drinking at night or something and then going and create, it looked like there was maybe a kids' party or something. I'm not sure,
Yeah,
So,
some of our larger parks like that, we definitely find on a fairly regular basis where it looks like kids were in there in the middle of the night drinking.
yeah. And they didn't have any graffiti or anything.
Yeah.
And I looked in the bathrooms and stuff, so they were fine.
Mhm.
Yeah. But.
Anything else to report?
Nope.
Nope, okay. Moving right along, Counselor Starr, what do you have to tell us tonight?
I will be brief. As you know, the master plan went before the council on Monday night and moved, sailed without issue, sailed through. So thank you for all the work on that, staff and the board. The other thing that I would bring forward to the Parks Board is just to be thinking about as we implement the Community Diversity Engagement Committee. One of the things that was voiced at the meeting is ways to engage our community in other aspects of the community. So maybe just think about as a board the ways in which we can connect with different populations in our community to encourage their participation in making our parks better, and just reaching out to them to encourage their participation in coming before and interacting with the Parks Board and what they're looking for as well in their community and in their neighborhoods. So just think about maybe different ways we can communicate, we can do outreach. So, thank you.
Okay, other business. Did you have something? Yes, Matt?
Yeah. So March 12th will be the annual Civic Center cleanup, and I talked about Chalmers Jones a little bit ago. It's a project that's put on by the Keizer Rotary and Claggett Creek Watershed Council. We usually try to aim for about 100, 120 people, and the last couple of years we've been a little lower, but we're still able to maintain proper distancing and all that. And so we ask groups to come in together and stick together. And so it's a great project. It kicks off at 9 a.m., runs till about noon or so. I may ask Robert to help me buy some pizzas for that. He doesn't know that yet. But last year we fed folks, and I think it was a really popular thing. Unfortunately, as soon as the food was done, everybody stopped working.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so now we're gonna figure out a different way to dangle the carrot. We'll see. I don't know. We usually do cookies and drinks and stuff like that, but talk to Robert and see if maybe we can split some costs on some pizzas and stuff. So super good event. McNary JROTC always participates the junior recruit officer training program. You know, they get the suck work every year. It's usually like pulling the rocks out of the downspouts and all the big heavy work, but they do such a great job. And I think what's really fun about this particular event is it's very family friendly. And so last year, I think we had a 3-year-old out there helping, which was great. Dragging a little rake that they brought and doing their thing. So, you know, it's a good event. Lawrence every year donates the debris bin. I think the last 5 years we've had a 30-yard debris bin, and we've pretty much filled it up every year. So really appreciate that partnership from Lawrence. It's continuing and ongoing. But yeah, so March 12th, 9 a.m. to noon. Stay for an hour, stay for the whole time. Come out and enjoy the nice day. I'm not going to talk about the weather because if I do, I'm going to jinx it. But it's a good day. And then April 23rd, and this is still very tentative because I haven't had a chance to put the permit in for it, but we're looking at doing what we call Soggy Day in the Park, the redo. For those of you that don't know, Soggy Day in the Park is an event that actually Dorothy Deal, who was the former environmental services staff, and then she worked with the police department for a good bit of time. She kind of helped invent that. And the Clyde Creek Watershed Council a number of years ago had done an Earth Day, and we occupied the whole Civic Center, and it was great for the 42 people that showed up. But we decided, let's get outside and actually do something. And so the first 2 years we did it, were really, really successful. Robert brought out a backhoe the first year, and I don't think he stood up straight for about 4 hours straight. And then the following year, one of his guys brought the backhoe out and then buried it, which was kind of funny as he was trying to get out of there. But we rent this big bounce house that has kind of an obstacle course thing to it, and maybe the backhoe, and then Mark Kellier, if the river's right, will do jet boat rides up to the actual Keizer Rapids and show some of the parts of the river that most people don't get an opportunity to see. And then we usually get a food vendor that comes out and provides some free food to folks. And so the last year we did it. The last 2 years we haven't been able to do it because of COVID. And then so we're trying to gear it up again this year. Hopefully not everything goes sideways on us again. But we had our second year, I think we had the count was about 320 people. And we learned a valuable lesson, and that's that we didn't have really good signage for it. And we had a bunch of people that went by and, hey, is this a private party? No, it's a pre-party. Come hang out. And so really good event, a lot of fun, and really appreciate the city's willingness to hopefully let us do that again this year. But more to follow on that. What else is coming up? I'll just put another shout out. If you're interested in what the Watershed Council does, we still have a couple positions open on the council. We meet generally the first Wednesday of the month, and so if you just watch our Facebook page, you can get a look at that, those meeting notices and stuff. Again, anybody can participate on the council, but we really like to try to find people that are active and willing to jump in and actually help in some way. And that doesn't necessarily mean doing heavy lifting. Sometimes there's some logistical things that happen on the back end. And so it's really a great opportunity to engage and be part of something at a variety of different levels. Sometimes the logistics side is actually, frankly, the hardest side. It'd be nice just to go out and do grunt lifting and stuff sometimes, but the logistics matter. So take a look at the Facebook page. We'll be meeting first week in March, and probably doing some more planning on the event here at Civic Center, and then talk a little bit more in depth about Saugerty in the park, so.
Sweet. You mentioned you wanted to update us or talk to us about Chalmers Jones?
Yeah, so that's part of the Civic Center cleanup.
Okay, perfect.
So thank you for allowing me to expand on that. So the Civic Center cleanup goes all the way from the corner over here on Bailey, all the way around the entire block of City Hall, and then actually runs all the way into Chalmers Jones. And so we clean up, I mean, everywhere there's a bush, we're raking. Everywhere where there's, I mean, it's a lot of work. So basically, it's the entire footprint of this, and a lot of that, really at Chalmers Jones, is along the path that goes around the splash pad where all the barberries and stuff are. I'll say if you're going to deal with barberries, make sure you wear gloves, because they're
Leather gloves.
leather gloves. Yes. I said that last year, and a couple of people showed up with neoprene glove, or what do you call it, nitrile gloves, which are good for, you know,
Picking up
everything
trash.
but that.
Right.
So one of my favorite stories, my second year doing it, Counselor Kim Freeman went out there and she forgot to bring gloves, and she was raking the whole time. And when she got done, she had these big blisters on her hand afterwards. But her and her husband, Ron, just worked really, really hard. And it's a great event. I usually put the mayor's husband on a four-wheeler, and he runs around picking up the bins. And it's super fun. I mean, it really is a super fun event. So thankfully, Mark Keller is actually going to be in town this year, so I don't have to be in charge of it. I can just be a gopher. But I say that, and he'll probably text me in 20 minutes and say, hey, by the way.
Yeah. Did it again.
Yeah.
Any other, oh, sorry.
No, good.
Any other business? Nope, last chance, Matt.
I got
I
nothing.
cut you off, I'm sorry.
That's minute, not.
No, it's, okay, we're all,
Debbie's done that to me a couple times.
well, it was time. Okay. No, I'm sorry. 6:33, we're all done. Thank you. Oh,
Bam.
that feels a lot better.